So here we can look at the 4 layers of Veezoo. So you're most used to the chat interface, where you can ask questions, look at your canvases, boards, agents. And then if you're looking in depth through the studio, you can see the knowledge graph, or through the knowledge graph view. Coming at it from the other side, from the results, you've got your data warehouse, where all your SQL queries get delivered to. But in the middle here, we've got the Veezoo database. And this acts as a mapping layer between the knowledge graph and the data warehouse. So let's take a look at this one. You can find this area from within the studio, and this is our default view with the concept tree. If we click on the file tree, we can also look at that same knowledge base that we had. So the same as we had the classes, customers, depot, etc. And this is probably a view that you're used to here, where we've got all the different classes, integers, strings, etc., along with their associated properties. We can also see the entities that may have been pulled in. So from our account tier, customer, or symbol group like this one, we can see the entities in there. But if we want to look into the database, let's just roll that back up and back in this one. So we can now see that we've got the database layer here. And if we open up the customer, we can see what this table looks like in there. And so for each of these, we've got an account tier with the identifier in the database and the type of field that it is. So this is really just a mapping layer between the knowledge graph and the database itself. But we can have other uses for it as well, which we'll touch on a little bit later, like turning this into a virtual table and giving it some virtual table SQL so that we can customize the way that Veezoo interacts with this table. We can also have version control in here. So if we click on the third icon, we get the ability to roll back in time. So with any of these, you can click on this one, and if we decide that we want to undo some of these changes that we can see in here, and we can go through them in detail. If we want to roll back to this point, simply click on the rollback and accept. And so that is the 4 layers of Veezoo. Thanks for watching.